Hi, I'm Deb Barcello, and I'm from Cattell's Sovac and Sewing Academy in Medford, New Jersey. And I'm here today to show you how to make a multi-level circle skirt. And we have several different models here. And some of the models, we're also going to demonstrate how to cut a one-way print. Okay, these skirts fit different sizes, and I think they're a very easy project for a mother and daughter to do. I think you'll have a great time learning how to make these circle skirts. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make some measurements. We want to know what our hip measurements will be, and from that hip measurement, we need to figure out our radius. And on the site, it will have a formula for you to figure out what your radius is. So for this skirt, our hip measurement is 32 inches, and our radius will be 4 3/4. I have a cork board here, and I have my fabric all folded in fourths, and I'm going to measure 4 3/4, which I actually put a clip here, and we're just going to mark the radius really quick all the way around. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the measuring tape off, move it to the side, take the cork board out, and take your cutter and just cut that out. Now, when you unfold it, you have your circle skirt, and this is going to be the longer part of the circle skirt. It's going to be the underneath part. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to talk about the top part. The top part of my skirt has a one-way print. Now, if I just cut a regular circle like I just did out of the one-way print, I would get something like this where the buildings are not going to be all going in the correct angle around your body. So we don't want that. So what we're going to do next is we're going to actually cut another circle, which I did before, okay? And we're going to take this circle and we're going to cut it into fourths. So we're going to take this and we're just going to trim all the folds into fourths. After you have the fourths, you'll see that you can lay this, and I used interfacing that you could see through so that you can lay it on the fabric and you can see which direction the prints go. And you're going to need 4 of these, and then we're just going to cut them all out. There'll be one cut at a time. It's a 1 layer of fabric. So you'll have 4 pieces. After you have the 4 pieces, you want to sew the 4 pieces together. Okay, so you can use a 1/4 inch seam, you can use an overcast, any way that you want to sew it together. And that way, when you're done, you're going to see that the buildings are all going in the angles that you want them to go. Okay, after we've done that part, you're going to take your bottom part piece and you're going to slip it inside the other and line up the hip area. And I have that done here on my machine. Okay, so you line up your pieces, you're going to put them on the machine, and the stitch that I use today is actually a hem stitch. Now before I put this on, I want to use the free arm. So I'm going to slide this piece off and we'll set it aside. And then I want to line this up and we're going to bring this down. Okay, today I'm using an open foot, more of an open foot, because I'm actually going to use this edge of the foot right here so that you can use that as a guide. Okay, some of the stitches that we're going to use, I was talking about hem stitches. This would be more of a serge stitch or overcast stitch. And you're just going to let the machine do what it does. Now, I like to give a gentle tug from the back because some of these stitches, they actually have a up to back 1 And when you're going up 2, back 1, it tends to pucker the fabric a little bit. So by giving a gentle tug on the back, it will alleviate that tug. And you're just going to sew this around the whole band. Now if you see too much of your fabric, just pull a little bit from behind. And that'll take care of that, and you just need a little bit of that fabric. Okay, now I'm just going to hit the cut, and we're going to move on to our next step. After you have that sewn all the way around, we want to start our hems. Now with our hems, I have let me grab the other fabric here. Okay, what we want to fold all the way around on the inside, and you're going to use that same stitch that we were using, that hem stitch that we were using. So basically, I just take the fabric and I fold it over, eyeing it about the same distance all the way around, and then just iron it down. After that's ironed down, you're going to do the same thing that you did on the other piece. You're actually going to line this up. Hit that down. And you're going to keep the fabric right up to the edge. And again, just that gentle tug from the back and the front, allowing the machine to work forward. And you get a perfect hem for a curved seam. And it gives a really nice edge look on the fabric too. And you can play with different threads, different thread colors when you're doing this. You can even use a multicolor thread. So whatever works well with the fabric that you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to cut this, and you're going to do that all around. You're going to do it on both pieces so you have your hems done. The next thing we're going to focus on is we need to make the band. I have a band partially cut and started. The first step of the band is you want to cut your band 2 inches shorter than your waist. And again, we're using that same stitch again to sew it together. So you're just basically going to fold the band over, put pretty sides together, and you're going to stitch that down. After you have that stitched, I would try on the band. Okay, kind of fold it down, put it on. Remember, this band has to hold your skirt up. So you want to try it on, see if you need to take in, take out, whatever you need to do, or pre-cut another one. You want it tight enough but comfortable. After you're done that, you want to overcast those stitches together. And again, we're going to put that on the machine. And you're going to use the same stitch. And again, I'm using the clip. I usually put the clips in 4 corners when I'm sewing this together. Okay, so I just took the clip off. When you're using the clips, by the way, clips can tend to get caught on the edge here. So kind of hold your fabric up a little bit and help it over that little lip area of the machine so it doesn't get caught. So we're going to start this, but I'm going to take this one off just because it's so close to the foot. I don't want it to get caught. Even with this is stretchier, so I don't want to pull it too much, but I want to allow it to walk forward. And again, you see a little bit of the back of the fabric when I'm stitching it. Now you can see right here, it's puckering a little, so I have the machine actually set so that it will lift every time I lift my foot. It's a great feature because that'll allow you to get any puckers that might happen when you're doing this, because stretch out is a little harder to work with. So we're going to stitch this area around, and you might see the fabric move a little bit, so just let the foot come up and adjust. You might have to put your finger there if it's moving too much on you, and stitch that around. Now when you have that done, you'll have a whole piece all serged, okay? Then you're going to take that piece and you're going to attach it to the 2 cotton fabrics. Okay? Again, I like to use 4 clips. I put them in the 4 clip areas. Now this one's a little different. When you put it on the machine this time, you're still going to use that same stitch. It's great. You're using the same stitch for everything. And we're gonna lay this on the machine. Put your foot down. Might wanna move that clip, it's in the way. And again, I'm gonna do that stretch, but this time I'm gonna stretch a little bit more in the front also, because your band is actually smaller than the skirt, and you want them to fit together. So you're gonna stretch from front to back again, because if you're pulling against the machine, it won't walk forward. So we're just gonna stitch that up. You're gonna stitch it all the way around. And we're gonna lift that. Take the clips off. And you've got your circle skirt.